statistics.
What do you think inflation actually is, if I could ask?
Well, I think it's probably, I don't know the exact precise number. I think it's probably somewhere between 5 and 10% a year. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's nowhere near the 1 to 2% that the government claims.
Okay, so the economy in the last couple of years has been growing about 4% a year, including inflation. So whatever inflation
No, it hasn't.
Is, the cash size, which you can't
You're talking
fake.
about nominal.
I'm talking about nominal.
You're talking about
Yeah,
nominal
nominal.
GDP.
You can't fake nominal GDP. That's the cash size of the economy. That's growing about 4% a year.
Right.
So if inflation is 5 to 10%, that means the economy is falling 1 to 9% right now.
Well, no, not 9%. No, you're exaggerating it. So, assuming if inflation is 5%,
okay, so
then the economy is contracting 1%. If it's 10%, then it's contracting. But I think the economy is contracting. That makes a lot more sense to me. Millions of people are leaving the labor force. The economy seems a lot smaller to me, in reality, than bigger. I don't see how we have a bigger economy when we're actually collectively less productive than we were.
We are more productive. That's why the economy is bigger, even though you're right. The participation rate still hasn't recovered from where it was in 2007. Now, part of that...
But the trade deficit is rising.
Part of that is that the boomers are retiring, and that was anticipated. If you go back 10 years ago, CBO was predicting that participation rate would start declining right about now. Now, a big part of that isn't people retiring, though. You're right. That's because the economy is still weak. But despite that, we are more productive. The economy is bigger than it was in 2007.
Well, no. How did we have this surge in productivity since 2008? What have we done that made us so much more productive? I missed this huge revolution that took place in the last 5 years. I just don't see it.
I mean, it's part mechanization. It's things like shale gas. All of these things coming together has made us more productive in the last couple of years, and we are doing more with less compared to 5 years ago. And the problem is we want to be doing more with more. We want more people working.
But if we were,
that's still a problem.
If we were doing more, we wouldn't have these huge trade deficits. The savings rate wouldn't be at an all-time record low. We wouldn't be seeing a big increase in poverty. If we really were more productive, we would be getting richer. We're not getting richer.
The savings rate. It has nothing to do with the savings.
Of course it does. When people are rich, they have more savings, and when societies have more savings, they can make more capital investments. But if you also look at prices, because you're just saying, well, look at that part. If you actually look at the prices of things, look at the prices of various food items or things that people buy, prices are going up rather substantially. They're not going up as little as the government claims. I mean, you're in the newspaper business or magazine business. According to the CPI, newspaper and magazine prices over the last 12 years were up about 35%. But if you actually look at the prices on the covers of those magazines, they're up 130%. So in many cases, prices go up much faster than the government claims. And I think my idea that the economy is shrinking makes a lot more sense than that it's actually expanding.
Well, if the economy is shrinking right now, how come we're still adding jobs every month?
We're not.
We are.
Look, you know what we're doing? We're adding part-time jobs to replace the full-time jobs we lost. And every time we add jobs, we have more people leaving the labor force than the jobs we added. So if we have 500,000 people who left the labor force, but we added 100,000 jobs, we're not adding jobs. I mean, yeah, there's some new jobs, but 500,000 people aren't even there anymore. And a lot of the jobs we're adding are make-work jobs. I mean, they're not real productive jobs. We're losing jobs every month in the manufacturing sector.
Some months we're losing jobs in manufacturing, not every month. We're becoming much more productive in manufacturing. We're producing more in manufacturing than we were before because we're more productive, which is what I was saying before. Now, that's the idea that these are make-work jobs. The government's actually been losing jobs. This has been a net drag on
local governments, not the federal government. The federal government is hiring. Some of the local governments are firing, but not the federal government.
Right. If you look at government as a whole, government has been losing jobs since 2010. Now, I don't know why the private sector would be creating make-work jobs. That seems funny to me. I don't think the private sector does that.
No, but I mean, okay, maybe not make-work, but in the wrong sectors, in healthcare, in education, in services, in retail, in finance. Those are not the jobs we need. If the Fed got out of the way, we need to produce more stuff, not just, shuffle papers around. But, we don't have a lot of time left. I wanted to ask